Everyone, guess what? It's episode number 100 of Fika for Life!
We're so cheap, we have to make our own sound effects.
I know, exactly. Wait, clapping.
We have a studio audience.
Of one.
Timmy's
Oh,
here.
two. We have two.
Yeah, we have two.
We have O'Reilly. We have your little son here. So.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you hear someone in the background going, that's Lynn's son. Can you say something to our audience? Oh, so cute. That's so cute. Oh, my gosh.
Poor baby.
I know. I don't know how you trained him like that. He's only a couple of weeks old. And he's already, I'm going to speak into the microphone just like my mom. Okay, well,
Sorry,
as we said, this is episode 100, and we decided to dedicate it to one of our favorite subjects, Lynn giving birth, without me taking pictures, of course.
Obviously, there were enough people in the room already.
But you needed one more. You needed your soul brother from another mother in the room with you.
I actually don't remember. I think there were two, like the undersköterska and the midwife. Because that I was in so much pain, I didn't care if someone came.
So I could have just come in and taken pictures then?
No one would. No one would let you on the maternity ward.
I
ever.
wrote to you. I said, Lynn, I'm just outside with my camera.
But I think there was. I don't know if it was before I gave birth or after. I think it was before.
Oh, it was probably before, I'm sure. So I was waiting for you to give me the okay sign.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, Lynn. So Lynn has had baby number 3.
I'm a machine.
Yes, you are. I'm like so impressed. I'm like, Lynn is just pooping out the babies, like poop, 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 poop.
Hey, okay. In 6 years, I pooped out 3 babies. So
that's pretty
enough.
good.
That's enough.
But I do feel though when I prayed today, when I put my hands on you, I feel like there's number 4.
No, people are telling me, I'm like, no.
You cannot
God
fight
said
it.
no.
He didn't say no. He said yes. Yes and amen.
Like if Jesus say yes, nobody can
Can
say no.
For those of you who are not in the Christian bubble, that is a really famous worship song. But anyway.
Yeah, and Destiny's Child did their own version of it.
I know. It was like really good. Yeah, I know. I love it. I'm like, when Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. Can you just hear that African vibe going out? Ooh, we're like so African right now.
Hey, why don't we sing about that song at your in worship?
Oh, we should
start with that.
We should start with that. Yeah. We sang it before, like 8 years ago or something like that.
Oh, wow. Was it before or after Destiny's Child?
It was before Destiny's Child. They stole it from us. I'm still suing them. That Beyonce, she thinks she can get away with it, but I don't care. I'm going to get her.
Is she black?
Because she's black. That's right. That's why I'm going to sue her, because, black people sue each other. That's what we do.
That's what you're known for.
That's what we're known for. We're like, yeah, that's right. Oh, you're another black person. Let me sue you. No, we only sue other people. Yeah. We don't sue our own.
No, I don't want another one. But
you don't know.
No.
That's what she says. That's our studio audience.
Oh my gosh. This is how you people... It's the same when I was in labor and I told Jonas something. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, of course I'm sure. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Okay, listen, you're not in labor now. No. Ooh, you see that mama flare up? Ooh, you should see her.
Those hormones.
I know. Hormones. What does that have to do with mama flare up?
Those hormones.
Hormones. I heard you said those Mormons.
Yeah, they also at every corner. Hormones.
Watching you give birth. You probably let them in, but you didn't let me in.
Dude, get that no one.
Okay, so this is the thing. Lynn went into labor, and as you all know, I really wanted to take pictures to celebrate my friend's gift of life. I wanted to celebrate baby number 3 with her by being in the room and taking pictures, but I was denied. But you know what she did? She called another friend of ours, Chanel. Chanel. Why
Chanel happened to be a woman.
Oh, so you're a sexist?
Yeah, basically. I'm pretty sexist when it comes to labor, yes.
Wow. So if I had breasts, I could come in and watch you, but...
You have breasts, but they are not capable.
Don't talk about my man boobs like that. Oh my gosh. I can't believe she's just insulted the pair.
The pair? Do you have names for them?
Yes, I do. Keisha and Lawanda.
Very African names.
Well, I'm 1%. So I have to be on 1% of South African so I can relate to, our studio guest here.
Our studio guest, he's like, no.
He don't know what real South African is. I got 1%. He got so much percent, he don't really know.
He don't really know no more.
He can't tell. People know.
The funny thing is that
so let's talk
our
about
baby came on Jonas' birthday.
No, isn't that surprising?
Is it?
Like, no, I'm sure Eunice was there in the back room. We're like, okay, I'm praying to the gods of birth.
But the thing is, so the week before I was there, and we were talking about like I wanting to give birth earlier because when it time my first son was born, he was gigantic.
Yes, he was.
So I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do this again because it was horrible.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we understand, and I think we can arrange it. So the doctor was really nice. So he was like saying, okay, but we can give you this time, and it was Jonas' birthday, 21st of June.
And it's so typical Swedish.
Why?
Because, see, Swedes like to wait in line, and they like everything planned on the calendar. And they're like, so when are you going to give birth? Well, let me look at my calendar right here. Oh, look at that.
No, but this was like, I mean, there were no medical no's on this one. They're like, he
only
was
medical
born,
yes.
Yeah, he was born 38 weeks and 4 days, so that's full. That's considered full term.
That's full term.
So it's no.
I mean, he
big
came
deal.
out. He had all the fingers and toes.
A head.
He started counting. He's like, I was like, wow, he's got a lot of hair now.
So we arrived there in the morning, and they did all the checkup and stuff. And
But you're missing something.
what?
Why didn't you call me?
Well, I didn't know it would start that day either.
Well, because we're talking about your birth, but it's really about me. It's about my
The
feelings.
whole story is about.
It's all about me.
So we went there. Jonas and me went there in the morning, and then they did all the checkup and so on. And then they said, "Okay, we are putting in a balloon. Do you know what a balloon is?"
What? You think I'm stupid? I went to clown school. I know what a balloon is. I can make animals out of my balloons. What could you do with yours?
Well, apparently give birth after I pushed them out. No.
Wait, so you practiced with the balloon first? I'm like, just in case you don't remember how to push, because it was a while since you had baby number 2, So here's
less than 2 years.
Well, in we're talking about in mama years, so that's
Mama years, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Wow.
And she's like, and the nurse is there. She's like, so here's a balloon, push. And you're like,
No. No.
I'm trying.
I didn't need anyone to tell me when to push and not to push. Or maybe they tried to tell me not to push, but like,
You didn't
I
listen.
can't help
You
it.
just say, my name is Lynn, and I don't listen to nobody. I tell you when I'm
I
going to
listen
push.
to my body.
Ooh, you listen to your body, girl, before you get down with your bad stuff. That's going to be a t-shirt. So if you want to support cross country, you want to support Fika for Life, send in $100 and you'll get a t-shirt that says Fika for Life. I listen to my own body.
Like I ain't listen to nobody. I'm listening to my body.
Double side. You get one on the front and one on the back side. Here you go.
Oh wow, no.
So you're at the hospital.
Yeah.
And you didn't call me. I had to find out on the grapevine.
I was examined, and that poor doctor. I don't know who was. If
What
my
you mean,
body.
Poor doctor. What happened?
If my body is something wrong with it, or something with his fingers, because he couldn't reach the cervix, so he was basically trying to with his he tried to examine me, but it was so painful. It's like someone who has 2 short fingers trying to reach something that's like, he's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh, it hurts.
This doctor with these short, stubby fingers. He's like, I want to Snow White's dwarves, and I want to get in there, but I can't. It's too far in.
Yeah, but he was like, when your body's not ready yet, it's like the cervix is facing the wrong direction, and it hasn't really come down yet.
Wait, the cervix can move around?
Yeah.
Like
front and
like
back.
a lighthouse light? It just circulates around?
No.
Not ready, ready.
It's either fourth. Yeah, it goes forth and back. Anyway. Back and forth.
Oh my gosh, it
back.
makes me want to become a gynecologist so I can observe the movement of the cervix. Look at that.
So that hurt awfully a lot already. So when he was putting the balloon in, because he said I was like 2 centimeters dilated and you're supposed to be 10. And he's like, okay.
So he put the balloon in to pump you up, make you wider?
Yeah, so he put a small balloon in there with a catheter that sticks out.
Yeah.
And then they fill it with water.
Mm-hmm.
And then every hour they would pull on it and then would tape it to my leg, and then they pull and pull more.
Wait,
so
they taped the balloon to your leg?
No, the balloon was inserted inside and blown up. Right. So
like
into the cervix, and then on the baby's head was pushing on the balloon, and the balloon was pushing on the cervix.
Okay, listen, everyone. Just because my mind is sick. So here's this picture in my head. Here's this doctor. He's like, since my stubby fingers can't get in there, let me put a balloon in there. And then we'll put the balloon. When the baby's head is pressing against the balloon, we'll pull on the string.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bell. Ding, ding, ding.
No,
dinner.
you just push it. You pull it down because of gravity. Then the cervix would widen and would open you more.
So it's like a hydraulic jack.
Yeah. You
just like when you're lifting your car, but in this case, you're widening it.
So they pull it every hour. They come in and pull it a bit, and then they tape it to my leg, and I pull a bit more and tape it to my leg.
Okay.
Because there has to be a
be
force.
Tension.
Yeah.
Something to drive that.
And then I went to the bathroom, and then I felt like, oh, it's coming out. And then
which one, the balloon or the head?
The balloon. Okay. The balloon. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm ready. So I called him. Here you go. There's the balloon.
I have never heard about the balloon thing before.
Really? It's really common.
I really wish I had my camera.
I have a picture of the balloon, though.
Do you?
But it's all with bloody slime.
Yeah. The more slimy, the better. I love everything about the body. I'm like, oh, this is so real.
Yeah, I was like, ugh, okay. And then they're like, oh, you're ready. Let's go to the labor ward. I'm like, okay. So I went there and I told everyone that it's my husband's birthday and it would be so fun if we would have this baby on his birthday. And they were like, we will try our best. It's so exciting. So the midwives... So the midwives we had first, they were really exciting and fun. And then the midwife who came after, she was, I think, I don't know, Russian or some.
Oh, did she? Okay.
East European
Did she
lady.
drink vinegar for breakfast? That's what I want to know.
No, like she was some her name and her demeanor was more like East European.
And the hat she was wearing. It says, bring back communism.
No, but she was nice in one way, but then she was not as cheery as the first ones, but they had to.
So she was nice, but not really nice.
She was nice, but firm.
Oh, wow.
So
she's like, you will push? Or what did she say? Du vill push?
No. She was.
I tell you to push the
She
baby.
was more like, no, I mean, when the time was to push, or for me, like, I had to, like, the urge was so immediate to push. So she was like,
wait,
calm down.
Shh. You're jumping over the big parts.
Which are the big parts?
We want to hear about the urge.
The urge? The urge to poop?
Because yesterday we were talking, and I was thinking to myself, like, when you were talking about the urge, and I was just like I'm trying to imagine, like, sometimes, like, you know, like when you have to sit on the toilet.
Yeah.
And you have to get a big number 2, a big poop. But it's a little hard, so you really got to push. You gotta put some work behind it and stuff like that. And I just was curious if, like, was the urge, huh?
Oh,
okay,
dude.
listen.
No,
okay, we're not listening to our audience. We're not listening to our audience here. He's nasty.
Okay, so
put
then
your finger in it. He's nasty.
They gave me the Pitocin, or what's it called?
Yeah, Pitocin.
Pitocin IV, and that's a terrible thing. But they turned it up more and more, and then in the end, I had so bad contractions. I told them, you have to turn it off. You have to turn it off.
I'm sure you
have to
calm.
turn it down.
I'm sure you weren't like, excuse me, could you just turn it down? And you were like, I'm sure you were like,
yeah, basically I was like, turn it down.
Exactly.
But then they turned it down. But in the end, I had so many of my own contractions, so they could turn it off. Like, off.
Because you were like, once.
Because my body was like, bam, bam, bam. I'm like,
Your body's like, it's time.
I had
to
gas
do the work.
in there, but I don't think it really helped against the pain. It was just something to focus on.
Okay.
just okay, breathe in this.
So, I mean, like, when you gave birth, like, were you on your back, were you on your knees, on your
this
stomach?
This time, I got to lie on my side.
Okay.
Which was very good.
Was that nice? Was that comfortable?
What? I don't know how you ask. Like, are you comfortable giving birth?
Because I never had a baby before, Lynn.
You're comfortable.
If you had let me be in the room with you and take pictures.
But I really felt like I pooped myself, but no one told me anything about pooping or not pooping. But yeah. But the thing is like this. I was 7 centimeters open. Yeah. Good job. And then they asked me, do you want to have an epidural? I'm like, yes. Okay. And then she's like, okay, I'll just go out and get the anesthesiologist. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. She went out. 1 or 2 contractions after, I had this urge, I gotta push.
And could you resist the urge?
The first through, I could be like, okay. Yeah. But then suddenly I felt myself pushing while I was standing up. And I'm like, I gotta push. And I'm like,
Why-
let's call him back.
Why you're
I
standing
need to push.
up?
I need to push. And then Jonas like, are you sure? And I'm like, just call him. Just call him.
Such a typical guy thing.
It's like,
are you sure?
Like, are you sure? Because, I mean, you're just 7 centimeters open. It can't be. I'm like, just No, but I mean, the thing
Not
is,
Lynn's body.
the
It was
thing
like,
is like third baby. They usually say it can go quite fast, especially like in the end.
right.
After
when it's time.
5-6
Yeah.
centimeters, then it just went whoop.
It's just,
So I told him like I gotta push, and then when they came in, I just had a contraction where I actually pushed
Wow.
because I couldn't they was like, yeah, you have to lie down and I gotta examine you, and then
Yeah.
I lay down and they examined me. And they're like, okay, it's too late now. You gotta push. You ready? You gotta push. I'm like, and I'm like, oh no,
wow.
because I knew there's no
Wow.
painkiller down
No.
there, and it was
Wow.
terrible. Like the pain, because I could feel the tearing. Like I could feel
you
that
could feel, okay.
the tearing.
Wow.
I'm like, and they were really aware because the doctors also wrote like to really make sure I wouldn't tear in the
Yeah.
perineum, because last time I had a 3B
you went pretty
really
deep.
bad
Yeah.
tear. So they pushed with all their strength against the perineum so it wouldn't tear.
Wow.
But then obviously the head got to fit somewhere.
Yeah.
So I felt how it would tear upward instead.
Whoa. Wow.
And I'm like, I'm tearing upward. And they're like checking, like, no, you're not. I'm like, I actually said, like, help me, because I felt
Wow.
so, like, the urge to push, and then at the same
Right.
time you feel you're tearing
Wow.
while pushing, but you can't stop. So it's like, help me.
Excuse me, I'm gonna
help
faint.
me.
So when I faint and get back up, then you can continue the story. So
But
I was like,
I think
you're
that's
like
the
tearing
worst.
all over the place. It's like I don't know. It's like tearing here and there, and then pushing. I couldn't stop pushing, and
I couldn't
Wow.
stop pushing.
Really?
That's the worst. Like, imagine you go number 2
Yeah.
and you feel like, oh God, this one is too big, it's too hard, I'm going to tear, and you can't stop.
I've had that feeling before.
You're like,
And sometimes it's just, I understand what it's like. I mean, you're pushing and it just feels like everything's just like being ripped open, and you're like, but you're trying to stop it, but you can't stop it because it's like, it's got its own motion. It's just like, you know?
yeah, that's like giving birth. You can't stop it.
Yeah. See, I knew I was ready for it.
But the thing is, I think I was impressed by my own body, because during that, or in between those contractions,
Yeah.
I was doing the breathing right.
Uh-huh,
The, like,
really?
thingy.
Wait, you have to see Lynn when she does this.
Like a dog.
Because she sticks her tongue out and she looks like a little poodle. She's like, it's so cute. I mean, you just want to
don't
give her a
think
bone right now.
No.
Scratch her ears.
The thing is that the midwife, she like almost screamed at me because she maybe thought I couldn't hear her. Because I was using gas and air,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Then I need you to stop using it now, because I need you to focus and like work with me." And I stopped. But the thing is, I don't know why I couldn't hear her that well. I only could hear Jonas, who was really close to my ear, trying to encourage me, like, "Hey, you're doing well. Good job. Like, okay, now slow down." And like, be quiet. I can't hear the midwife. Just stop. And he was like, I'm just repeating what she's saying.
I
Like,
could
just
just
be quiet.
imagine. Like, here's Eunice talking, here's the midwife talking, and your brain is like all scrambled.
I'm like, oh, I can't hear what she's saying.
This is really funny because Lynn's son is like in the middle of this conversation. He's just sleeping like a rock. He's just like, whatever.
This is how I sounded.
Yeah, it's like he's working up a good one right now. He's like, I remember what I just want to be just like mom.
Yeah, apparently, I didn't see that, but apparently he had his umbilical cord around his neck 2
Oh,
times.
Wow, that was really serious.
So he was a bit bluish when he
Yeah.
came out, like his face.
Especially after going through all that pushing. I mean,
Like, his head was coney, so...
really? Oh, nice. That's what you want. That's what you want in a newborn baby. You want to come out. He looks
It's
like a
like
cone
cone.
head. Wow.
Most people do like a cone.
I didn't come out with a cone head. My head was perfectly round.
But I
Not
mean,
really. I still have a point here, so it's like it's really bad.
when they did the first or the last ultrasound and like checked how big he would
Right.
be, they said that they estimated him to be 3.6.
Wow.
And again, they were 500 gram off, half a kg.
Of course.
I'm like,
because they're not that good.
Because they said like, yeah, but 3.6, that's really normal. That's no problem. I'm like, but you guys wrong. Because they're like, yeah, but it's estimate, but usually it's around there. I'm like, no, you guys have no idea. I'm like, I don't trust you because last time it didn't work out that way.
I'm doing the pushing here. I know how much, I know what kind of force I'm pushing against. This ain't no 3.6, okay?
This is not 3.6.
Yeah.
So he was 4.1. So I'm like, that's a big
baby.
Big difference.
He's a big boy.
Big difference. And still, he came out 10 days earlier.
Yeah. Think if you would have.
Yeah, imagine letting him just go all the way.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, no.
Be like a 5 kilo. He'd be like, oh, here's a gigantic 11-pound baby. He's like a turkey. You know?
It's like a turkey. Hey, turkey.
He's so cute because he's so pink.
He's so pink now.
I know.
So he had
like
some
really
jaundice, and tomorrow we're going to check up again to see if he's still yellowish.
But it's kind of good. He looks good. He doesn't look so yellow.
No, all of my babies were kind of yellow. Nomi didn't. My first daughter, she was 10 days. She was 10 days overdue, and she was 3.9.
Wow.
So she was the
wow,
least.
she's the tiny. She's the runt of the family. Because
And
the other two.
And then Itai is 4.4. No, 4.4.
Yeah.
And then this one is 4.1.
Yeah.
And he was like.
He's early, though. So. Obviously, God has blessed you to produce some gigantic babies. Ooh, wow.
And then people all ask me, do you have diabetes? I'm like, no. I tested 3 times during all of these pregnancies, and I'm not diabetic, okay?
Nope, you just have big babies.
I just have big babies. I can't help it. And with the boys, who weighed the most, I gained least weight. And I lost it almost immediately after I gave birth.
Okay, we'll see.
So it's not like they just eat me.
Yeah, exactly. Little parasites. They're just like,
they just eat me.
Here's some more, Mom.
It's true. It's true.
But it's just pretty. So why did we decide to dedicate this 100th episode to you giving birth?
Because it's about life.
Exactly.
It's about life and new life.
And our podcast is always about looking to the future. And so we really wanted, and especially because it just happened to be just around the same time as the 100th episode. And if you follow these conversations about Lynn's birth, we either talk about some aspect of giving birth or
secret
all the stuff.
Job.
Yes, exactly. It's like, I'm so jealous. I want to be able to squeeze out a baby.
But I told you, you can be a doula now. Just have to pay some money to go this.
Yeah, I might do that. I feel really inspired.
How people would be like after you for both. He's a priest and a doula.
I know.
So you can bless them immediately.
I'd be like,
excuse me. Baptize them. You can baptize them just when
I am the Reverend Father Doula Edward Thomas.
Edward Thomas
the Third. And
that would be crazy.
My gosh.
Maybe that's your ministry.
Maybe it is.
To baptize
newborn babies before the parents have a chance to say no. While they're still all fuzzy in the head, I'm like, hey, can I baptize your baby? Yeah.
It's like bathing them.
Yeah, so you never know. But I want to do it the Orthodox way. Just dip the whole baby in.
Wow.
It's like a donut.
Dunk them.
I think it's exciting.
But were your daughters born here or in?
The only one that was born here was Nicole. So the last one. But it wasn't as exciting as yours.
Uppsala?
But I did take pictures, which Annette felt.
I know.
She felt really, really embarrassed that I went to the school and I showed like I was studying music and I was like, look, my wife gave birth to these babies. And
so
I brought these pictures and she's like, I can't believe you showed people my stuff. I'm like, no one's looking at your stuff. We're looking at the head of the baby. I see your stuff before.
Yeah, but they haven't, so you don't need to introduce them to it either.
I know, everyone's like, that's why my wife doesn't like to come outside in public. She's like, I don't know, Ed, you showed my stuff to everybody. I don't really want to see people. I just can't take how they look at me. They're always looking at my stuff, you know. No, but it was, I think that, like, when Nicole was born, I think it was like, I was in the room and everything and had everything set up, you know, to take videos and to take the camera and everything. I was like, and we had like our bag, we had everything. We were so professional. Like we have our little bag. And so when it was time for the labor and go to the hospital, we was like, pick your bag and go to the hospital and everything. We had like popsicles and things like that, you know, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, baby.
But it was just went fine. Like she didn't tear anything. I don't know. I think my wife's like rubber or something. She just stretched. It's like, wow,
Well,
just like the
second
Fantastic
baby, though?
Four. Yeah,
Wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it was the second one. Yeah.
And Nicole
So-
doesn't look very big.
Nah, she was. But I don't think any of them were big. I mean, they were all kind of puny. They were like tiny. Like, okay, what's wrong with these babies? But Nicole is really tiny too. So she's
Yeah,
really
I was
petite.
thinking like
yeah,
she
wasn't.
doesn't
She
look
wasn't
like
big.
she's a giant.
No,
fat
I mean she was
baby.
bigger than Paulina. Paulina was like tiny. She's like
What you said?
3.2 or something like that. I mean, maybe 2.9. I don't know something. But she was like tiny.
Vivian said that
So-
most people in Hong Kong gave birth to babies. They're like 2.5, 2.8, and that they all get a episiotomy. And I'm like, they all get it, and I'm like,
Really?
why?
Why?
And then she's like,
You're
well,
such a little baby.
I don't know those people.
Maybe they're not as stretchy.
But I mean, I was reading up on that,
Oh.
and they said that some countries do that like as a standard procedure.
Yeah.
Everyone gets an episiotomy, but I'm like, that's so unnecessary.
I mean, that's what we did. I mean, I think all the births in the States were all with episiotomy. So.
Oh my gosh! But that's unnecessary.
But it was coming.
because
She's
not
like,
everyone
click, click, click. They were like, okay. And then they just sew it back up. And I was like,
It's painful, dude.
didn't look like it was. I know that. I mean, they gave her like, a shot and down
Yeah,
there.
but still, it hurts.
I'm sure it
For
does.
me, it still hurt.
That creates a lot of incontinence as well.
Really?
If you,
I'm going to check. When I get home tonight, I'm going to say, Annette, so how's your peeing going?
it's like,
Can I check your side of the bed to see how dry it is?
Have you do your Kegel exercises?
Oh my gosh, I used to shout about that. I'm like, we can do it together. She's like, what kind of a man did I marry? I'm like,
A
let's
good
do
one.
it.
The one that
let's do
cares
the
about
Kegels.
you're not leaking pee-pee the rest of
Hey,
your life.
I just don't want, because I heard that it could like fall out. Like,
Well, you can have
Yeah.
it prolapse. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad.
yeah.
I'm like, no,
Yeah, you don't want that. That's why you do the Kegels.
the Kegels.
Keep it all firm and tight. I mean, like.
But I think I
No.
haven't heard about the Kegels before I came to Sweden. Actually,
Oh, really?
So I think in Sweden it's more
Okay. Because in the
Common
States,
and-
we like Kegel all over the place.
Kegel everywhere.
Yeah, it's like you go to Kegel dinner. There was, it's like everybody's like,
Everyone
okay,
Kegel
now.
If you
Come
guys
on,
don't know
flex.
what Kegel exercise is, it's like training your pelvic muscles.
Yes.
The muscles that you use when you stop peeing.
Yeah.
Like you pee, and then if you make it
And then what
stop
you
in the
do,
middle way,
yeah,
that's
you
the
pretend
muscles.
like you're stopping to pee.
Yeah.
And even guys can do it. It's really good because it gives you a lot of stamina, if you know what I mean.
People maybe don't know what you mean.
Okay, well,
Then
Right
you gotta
to me.
listen to another
right,
episode.
listen to another episode, and we'll tell you what it really means. But we really want to thank all of our guests that have been on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys for 100 episodes.
Woohoo! We want to thank all of our listeners, and thanks for everyone writing in with such great questions all the years. And that we expect you to continue to follow because now you've joined the sect. And so as your sect leaders, we expect loyalty until the day you die.
Exactly. We know if you're listening.
Yeah, because we will come by the house and beat you
Because we
up.
can see who is listening.
Yes. We're like Santa Claus. We know who them is sleeping. We know when you're awake.
Oh, wow.
We know when you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Or
Listen.
be loyal for goodness sake. Or
Listen.
listen for goodness sake.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, you know what's going to happen. We're going to get you.
Okay, Ed.
Sorry, I just had to go there. Sometimes I'm just so wrong. Okay, but anyway, we are really grateful. We want to really give a shout out to our producer, Lowry, who actually mixes the sound and everything and make sure they come out on time. If we send them the material on time, it all depends upon us. But he has a lot of patience. And so we just want to say thank you, Lowry, for being a part of our show and helping us to get everything produced and put together. And I want to thank you, Lynn.
I want to thank you too, Ed.
I know you want to thank me.
You always come up with weird things to say.
What? Never.
You stretch the episode because you always have to say so much.
I don't have anything to say. I mean, I am the quiet one. If you've noticed all these episodes and all these years, you know that Lynn does most of the talking and I just do most of the listening because I'm just supportive that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have pasteuritis. I just
That's right.
talk
Can't stop
incessantly.
talking.
It's just like,
Thank you guys for listening.
yes, thank you for making us to 100 episodes, and we will continue to produce more episodes of
Fika for life!
Don't forget to send us a lot of money too. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening. If you have any comments or ideas, please send us a message to fikaforlife@mail.com. Fika, F-I-K-A. This was the Fika for Life podcast with Linh and Edward Thomas, and we hope to hear you again.